Evolutionary synthesis, incorporating ideas from genetics, embryology, population thinking, and these new approaches assume that there can be more rapid changes, that not everything is slow and incremental, but still he assumes that language is the result of a strictly old-fashioned Darwinian scenario slowly developing into human language. And it cannot be with big steps. That is his take on evolutionary theory. On top of that, because he thinks that language is there for communication, he takes communication as central to his reasoning. So he assumes that the development of this communication system is triggered by the stuff like sharing information about territory, sharing information about danger, food sources, tool making. All sharing information in that respect is helped by natural language instead of a more primary communication system. So that is what he takes two features as quite central, at least in the paper that I have read, which is called mental time travel and the theory of mind. I tried to do it as easy as possible. The theory of mind is basically the capacity to understand what others feel, think, or believe. And Kabbalah takes the position that storytelling drove the evolution of language. So having theory of mind is an important step towards language. But another thing is that theory of mind is a complicated issue. There are different theories on theory of mind, and we know that theory of mind has been established in other species, so it's definitely not something that only humans have. But in his mind, that is a good step towards language. So the fact that our nearest relatives, apes, have to some extent a theory of mind helps him in understanding why language developed in this lineage. But the other thing that he thinks is quite important is mental time travel. What is mental time travel? Mental time travel is about displacement. It's a feature that already Hockett, more than half a century ago, mentioned as an important aspect of language. It's a design feature of language enabling reference to events at other places, at other times, past or future. So mental time travel is, he thinks, important. Again, mental time travel is not something that only humans have. We properly defined, we can say that other animals have it too. And he is especially struck by the fact that there is neuroscientific evidence that mental time travel might be related to language. The fact is that the hippocampus in humans is activated when people consciously remember past episodes or imagine future ones, or even imagine purely fictitious ones. And in humans, the hippocampus seems to be involved in the language itself. So he says because mental time travel gives an important role to the hippocampus, and the hippocampus has also a role in language, it makes sense to relate it. Now, in a recent paper, I and my colleagues reacted to that paper in a small reaction published in Trends in Cognitive Science. We argued against Kabbalah's view. I suggest that you simply read the paper, because then you can see it more carefully than what I'm saying now. What I remember from the discussion is that the discussion is difficult because different views on evolutionary theory, but B, different perspectives on what language is. On the one hand, you have me and Noam Chomsky and others who believe that language is not there for communicative purposes, and you have Corvallis who thinks that language is there primarily for communication. So you're talking apples and pears. It's very difficult to get a real communication if your underlying ideas are so different. The other topic that I want to address is birdsong and compositionality. This is a little bit closer to linguistics. So, Hauser, Chomsky, and Fitch argue that comparative biological research is needed to answer the question whether there are features of natural language which are uniquely human. It's very important that that paper that I mentioned, the 2002 paper, actually says do comparative biological work to find out whether certain properties are uniquely human or not. Now, one is the work on birdsong. So the most common manifestation of language is sound. So it's a legitimate question to ask whether birdsong and speech are similar. It's natural. On first thought, you would say no. I would say no. Why? Because English and Dutch is not just sound, it's meaningful sound. So we have sound, but it's quite strongly connected to meaning, and we build meaning through sound. And that's not what birdsong normally do. They have a song, but the hypothesis in these two papers, one by Suzuki and one by Engesser, is that if you do experiments with some birds, then it turns out that they have something that looks quite a lot like language. So both teams claim that some songbirds have the ability to combine sounds into more complex units having the semantics of its own. They call that, some birds have compositional syntax. That's a very important claim, because if some birds have compositional syntax, they have something that I think is uniquely human. I think there is another important aspect which is forgotten by most people, that it's quite remarkable that some birds that are evolutionary so far away from us have something that is so close to us. So some birds have something that is really, they claim, quite close to us, while in fact they are quite far away in evolutionary terms. So this is what they claimed. I will skip that. But what is important is they say that they have a compositional syntax. I will explain what it means. And the last quote is, I guess, the most important is, they have limitless meanings from a finite set of words based on combinatorial rules. Actually, it's quite remarkable, because this is a definition of language that is not shared by most language. This is really hardcore generative grammarian syntax, and they claim that some birds have it. They could have taken any other linguistic framework that doesn't take this, but they wanted to claim this. What is, so it's about unboundedness and compositionality. What is unboundedness? Unboundedness means that you have a system which in itself is finite, and a system that allows you to produce whatever you want. That is why recursion is so important. There are several examples that you can use, but I now use a children's rhyme example to explain that In practice, we can go on forever. That is, this is the farmer sowing the corn that kept the cock that crowned in the morn, etc., 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 etc. We stop. We have to stop because the child is already asleep. But in principle, this children's rhyme shows you that we have this concept of going on and going on and going on. It's unbounded. So that I don't think that they have shown in the articles that what the songbirds do is unbounded, but let's concentrate on another thing that is called compositionality. So the linguist among you might have heard from the term compositionality. I've repeated it here. The meaning of a complex expression is a function of the meaning of its parts and the mode of composition. What do I mean with that? If you say, I saw the man with the telescope, then that can mean I saw the man with the telescope, like this, or I can see I saw the man with the telescope. So there is a structural difference that gives you two different meanings. That is compositionality. The meaning of I saw the man with the telescope depends on how you take your units and how you combine your units into bigger. Yeah? So here is I saw the man with the telescope in a tree structure, and this is I saw the man with the telescope with only one object. The other one is the example with the, let's say, an adverbial complement. So if we take this as the man and the telescope, then it forms into the man with the telescope, and then we get to seeing the man with the telescope. The other possibility is I see with a man, with means I see the man, and then I see the man with the telescope. So that are the options. This is compositionality. The question is this what the birds are doing? I will skip this slide because it takes too long. I will make a PDF of this presentation, and then Kiki can send it around. They claim that birds do this stuff. However, for birds, in order to check that, they need order. So they assume that a different order triggers different behavior. That is what they have shown. A different order of elements triggers different behavior, and they say that means different meaning. In itself, it's not wrong. The only point is that different order doesn't necessarily mean different meaning. If you take this example, you know that Sita likes birds and songs, so Sita likes songs and birds has the same meaning. Order is different, but the meaning is the same. While if we would take it into compounds, Sita like bird songs or songbirds, the meaning fundamentally changes. So it depends on the domain where we are talking about, whether word order makes a difference. Yeah? Sometimes word order makes a difference, sometimes it isn't, and it's important to make that. Now this is something that is extremely difficult to explain to biologists. Biologists don't get it. But I'm sorry to go on. This is another example of the fact that structure is important. If you have the phrase old men and women, it can mean old men and women, and then old only has scope over men. So we are talking about the merging of simply women and, which could be young and old men, or we could do it like this, which is old taking scope of a man and woman, and then we have the conjunction of old men and old women. So this is the regular example that all formal semanticists take to explain what compositionality means, and that even in the same word order, the way to combine it might make a huge difference. So I think that comparative biological research has resulted in really fascinating results. I'm criticizing the results that Suzuki and Anderson takes. I'm not criticizing the research that they have done. I see the point that songbirds have some sort of feature of composing elements into bigger meaning. And this comparative research is very important because it helps us define what is uniquely human and not. Like theory of mind and categorical perception, I already mentioned that, and planning are not uniquely human. Yeah? So, again, recapitulating what is said in the Hauser, Chomsky, and Fitch paper, they claim 1, 2, and 3. Most of the discussion is concentrated on this issue of recursion. How do we define recursion, though some birds have recursion or not? And they forget about the first point. And the first point is really very important. It's unfortunate that that aspect of the paper is quite often forgotten. I give you 2 examples which they use in that paper to say, okay, if we look at that aspect, you get some surprising results. Take imitation. The assumption is that imitation is important for language. I mean, if you have children and growing up children, you know that imitation is important. Now, what turns out is that some animals are quite good at it. Some birds are good at it, dolphins, humans, but others, apes and monkeys, are not. So this is the picture. I think that these are tamarins, these are chimpanzees. They are poor imitators, while others are actually quite good. Now, we tend to concentrate on these guys being our predecessors. Perhaps they are, I know they are. However, in one aspect, they behave quite differently from us. They are poor imitators. And you can see that in the acquisition of the language. I have taken here Washu, who had 13 American Sign Language words after 1 year, 85 signs after 30 years, and 19 years further, it was 160 signs. I have skipped a video that I can show you of dogs. No, because it takes too long. There is a researcher in England who was triggered by a dog owner that her dog was such a good learner of words. So he trained the dog, and it is indeed true that the dog, by the time I saw the video, learned 120 words. So he would say, let's say, umbrella, and he would pick up the umbrella if you would give him a whole area of things. So in that respect, dogs are actually quite good. I mean, perhaps dogs are better than apes in learning words. Well, if you look at humans, and this is of course an average, in the beginning they are poor. I mean, there's not much. But then, yeah, after 3 or 4 years or earlier, then all of a sudden they explode and they get an enormous amount of words. And it's one of the features that is really very helpful for human language. So, the assumption that is there in Chomsky, Hauser, and Fitch is that it's not small steps, but it is one huge step, like landing on the moon. But I want to stress by this slide that it's not, let's say, a linguist known Chomsky against non-linguists like Corvallis. Even people he works closely with, like Ray Jekanov and Steven Pinker, believe in the small step scenario. So they are basic Corbellian in that sense. So a quote here from a paper: individuals endowed with a more highly developed language faculty had some adaptive advantage over those with less highly developed one. So natural selection played a role in each step. So slow adaptation of multiple factors slowly. That's not for Chomsky. Chomsky says it's a radical phenotypic change. In the case of such systems as a language or wings, it's not easy to imagine a course of selection that might have given rise to them. It is called the saltational view. It's one mutation that enables the language to develop. Then that development of language will still take quite a long time, but there is one genetic change that makes it possible. It's a qualitative change, and that is the position that he defends in the book Why Only Us. So the qualitative change that Chomsky is assuming is recursive computation. So human and non-human animals exhibit the capacity to compute numerosities. However, humans may be unique in the ability to show open-ended, precise quantificational skills with large numbers, including the integer count list. I know that it's basically people can learn it. You maybe skip primary school and haven't learned it, but you could learn it later on, and that is now for Husky, Chomsky, and Fitch, this ability to count and language is related. It's a hypothesis. It's a hypothesis that is around for a very long time. Why is it related? Well, it's related in this sense, and this is the only technical thing that I'm giving you today. This here is the definition of natural numbers. The definition of natural numbers is this, and that is a recursive definition. So the claim is you can only have this, a system of natural numbers, if you have recursion, and if you have recursion, then you have language. This actually was already hypothesized by Eric Landenberg in 1971, and this is then the picture that they have in Hauser and Chomsky-Fitch to explain that humans have this and go on forever, while animals do count, but limited. There is no open-endedness in the case of animals. Okay. Summarizing remarks. Oh, not that bad. A few slides. So, what is meant when we talk about the faculty of language? Again, I stress for me and for people like Chomsky and others, it's C, it's not A and B. So language is not a repository of culture. That is not the defining feature of language. Although culture influences language, no denying. Language is not basically a system of communication, although language is used for communication, no denying. Language is what he calls I-language, a computational system that's encoded in the individual brain. And this computational system basically means you have syntax, you have structure. Yeah? Now this is nowadays the system as he envisaged it. I want to okay, let me briefly explain this picture. This is only language in the most narrow sense possible. Of course, computation system and let's say the science sound system are part of what we call language, but are not really uniquely human. We share this with perhaps other species. So this is the only thing that is uniquely human in language. But there is one open-ended, that is the lexicon. I was attended, this was mentioned to me by a colleague who was reading more about Noam Chomsky than I'm doing, that actually the lexicon might be something that is also unique to humans. The ability to have the ability to assign a meaning arbitrarily to a sound. That is something that might be truly different from any other communication system. We don't know. Anyway, a few more remarks. I'm repeating myself, but still, we should distinguish speech from language. I know that people often say speech, but speech is only one manifestation of language. Don't forget, signing is a proper natural language, so we can't say that speech is fundamentally to language. Language manifests itself mostly through speech, undeniably, but sign could also be. Language is intrinsically intertwined with meaning, with communication purposes. And it is therefore intertwined with all sorts of non-verbal modes of communication, gestures, pointing, facial expressions. So again, it's not denying that that is part and parcel of what we study as linguists. When we are talking about language evolution, the idea is forget about it and perhaps concentrate on what is central. And Chomsky's position is language communicative function. It does not underpin the essential property, not the essential property. So this is what he tries to explain in the book Why Only Us. And the last slides that last things I'm going to say is that there is one aspect of that book that is very important. They assume that there is this genetics change that made it possible. And this is tricky because the focus on, let's say, the genetic aspect of language gives the impression that Chomsky and others might believe that there is a language gene. And I want to stress, he never has thought that. It has, for a very long time, denied. There is no one-to-one correspondence between genes and behavior, so everybody is well aware that genes might influence language behavior, but there is not one-to-one correspondence. So, and this, I'm giving you here some quotes. This was already observed and very well explained by Eric Lenneberg way back, 64, 67, but unfortunately that book was forgotten because Eric Lenneberg died quite early, and because of that, that idea has been lost, but it's there all the time. And then the last slide, a quote by Lenneberg: "The route through which genes affect the overall pattern of structure and function show that it's possible to talk about language in connection with genetics without having to make shaky assumptions about genes for language." So it was really very early on, he was aware that that was a tricky issue. And with that, I want to end this excursion on language evolution. It's really fun to work on it. I would advise you to read some of the stuff, but keep in mind it's meta work. It's not something you can do empirical work on because it's basically too complicated.
We have 3 questions in the first term.